Hi guys, Aspen here from Drone in Nature. Today I have some really big news.
Yeah, boy!
Fly the Dji Mini 2 today. I'm really looking forward to this. It's been a long time since I've flown one of the smallest drones to DJI. I earlier had the Mini 1, but I wasn't happy about that drone because of the range. This one has OcuSync 2.0 and you got 4K, so that's really big news. So today I'm gonna do a test flight. I want to show you a pre-flight test with this small drone, because I think this drone is especially for beginners. Just want to test out how it is to fly a drone, and the Mini 2 is really the right drone for beginner, but I think even pro people can use it too. It's good quality, and you have really good range on this drone because of OcuSync 2.0. But I think it's important to do this step by step if you are a beginner. Test the drone in an open area. That's the most important thing to do. And today I just want to go through my pre-flight check before you fly your drone, especially for the first time. But I really recommend do a kind of a pre-flight test. Maybe not on each flight, but do it regularly, because it's important to remember what you check when you're gonna fly. This drone can do some damage if there's something wrong with it, if the blades are not good, if there's a crack on the drone or whatever. But so today we're gonna do a pre-flight test flight, a pre-flight check first. I want to show you what I control on my drone before I fly. And I never flown this drone. I use the DJI Fire app with my Air 2, of course, but this is the first time flying the Mini 2, so it's going to be really fun to see. I updated it to the newest firmware on the app, 1.2.4 on Android devices, and everything is up to date. So I'm really looking forward to take it up in the air for the first time. So hopefully you learn something too. So yeah, we're gonna start unboxing the drone. So the first thing we're gonna do is of course open up the drone. This is the bag, the DJI Mini 2 bag. It's the same as on the Air 2. I really love this bag. It's small and easy to carry with you, and the smell is really good. So let's open it and see how the drone looks like. The snow has disappeared in Norway, it's just not much left. But this is the drone, and I really like the new protection you got for the blades. It looks really good. Look at this small drone. It doesn't weigh anything at all. So it's exactly the same as the Mini 1. I actually think this weighs less. I see some people say 230 or something like that. Maybe it's less, I don't know, but it's under 250 grams. That's really important for beginners. Yeah, so let's open it up and see. It really feels like a toy, but it flies like not a toy. So let's open her up. Be a little bit careful with this one. The only thing I really was hoped for on this kind of drone was the quick propeller stuff. I don't know what you call it, but this is the drone. Extremely small. Look at this. It's amazing. So we're gonna take off. I'm gonna unpack my landing pad. I really recommend having a landing pad, because most of the time, of course, you are out and on different location, and it's not some good places to place down your drone. Then you really need a landing pad. That's really recommended to protect your drone, of course. Let's unpack this one. I bought this one on Amazon. Really cheap, really easy to use. Let's unpack this one. Let's fold it up. This is the landing pad. Great one. You have an orange side and a black side with the H. This is really smart to have, because yeah, it's easy to
the spot from the sky?
I think it's maybe easier for the drone to recognize this one too. I really don't know. So let's put on the landing pad. I don't want to go out to the ice today because it's been the weather has changed in Norway, so it's not below zero now. It's a little bit warmer and the ice is starting to melt, so I don't want to go through the ice. So let's take off the gimbal cover on the drone. That's important. And this is the small 4K camera. Really amazing. It's a small sensor, of course. You don't get the same image quality as you had on the Air 2, but this is really good. The upgrade for 4K. I think now with the latest update you can shoot in 2.7K with 60 frames, so that's really good. And you don't have tracking on this drone. That's amazing on the Air 2. But I didn't use the tracking that much. Sometimes, if you learn to fly, that's the reason why I think it's important to start with a smaller drone, just to learn it, to get the right stick control and learn to fly the drone, to pan and tilt and do all kinds of nice cinematic movements. Let's put down the drone. That. I'll take off my gloves. Of course I'm gonna use my phone. I'm gonna calibrate the compass on the phone too, because I've learned that doing that the compass connected to the RC controller is more correct, so I always do that. So let's calibrate the compass, and you have a little dot on the screen just showing you where you're at. So I'm gonna press on the dot and calibrate my compass on the phone. It says now the compass is high, but I'm gonna calibrate it. So it's pretty easy. Just hold your phone and do a swing like this. Do that 2 or 3 times. I'm gonna take out the new controller. The same controller as on the Air 2 is some differences between you have cinematic, normal and sport. I believed on the Air 2 controller it's tripod, normal and sport, but you can use this controller with the Air 2 and you can use the Air 2 controller on the Mini 2, so that's really nice. And I see that a lot of people are hoping that DJI are gonna make an update so it works with a smart controller. I don't have the smart controller. I don't think I'm gonna buy it. It's too expensive. So that's the reason why I recommend start with the cheapest equipment. You don't need expensive equipment to produce good content. The most important thing is to learn everything, and as you grow you can of course invest in more expensive, but that's the reason why I think it's smart to start with some cheaper equipment, so you learn how to use it. So let's take the sticks on, and then of course I'm going to do screen record with this, so let's fire up the drone. And always fire up your RC controller first, not your drone. And the reason why is that I've seen or heard that some people had some problems with it. If you put on your controller, your Mini 2, and if something happen, it starts up or whatever, it doesn't do that, but it can do. Of course, you never know. So press on your controller first. That's the same as the other controller. 1 press to check your battery status, and 2 presses to 1 press and the second press hold, so the RC controller boot up like that, and then we can take power on our drone, and we're gonna calibrate the compass also. That's important to do each and every time. It's pretty easy to do that. Okay, the drone is on. The RC is on. Let's see if the I'm going to bind the controller. That's another thing. I really recommend that you get the DJI Care Refresh. When you buy the drone, it's not expensive at all. I really recommend doing it because you get 2 replacement drones if something happens with it. And they have something new now, it's a fly-away coverage. You have to bind your controller to your drone. I'm going to see if that's possible to do that now. Let's see. Confirm. Okay, so now I'm binding my controller to my Mini 2. That means that I'm covered now by fly-away coverage. If something happened to the drone when it's up in the air and it's fly away, that means that you get a replacement drone, of course, but you have to pay. I think it's half the price of a new drone, but that's really good, a good deal. I really recommend doing that. So it's binded now. Let's fire up the drone. I'm going to screen record this. The screen recording is on, so you can see my screen. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Okay, this is the first time you're starting up your Mini 2. It's important to check a couple of things. We're going to go through that. So let's go into Go Fly. I want to do, this is the first time I'm flying my drone. I'm going to do this start pre-flight check. That's really important to do, especially the first time, and do it a couple of other times when you forget what you're going to control. So let's do that.
Perform a safety check before you fly.
Okay, you're going to check, but I'm going to grab the drone. Okay, on the screen, check and ensure that the gimbal protector is removed. It's removed. Check and ensure that the aircraft is placed with it rear facing you. That's also important. Never stand in front of the drone when you're starting it up, because if you move your stick the wrong way, it can fly into your face. That's not smart. You don't want it to crash. So we're going to put the face pointed forward. Move to the next. Unfold the remote controller antenna and adjust the position of the remote controller and antenna in relation to the aircraft. When you stand flying, always point the antenna here towards your drone. So if you're flying straight forward, keep it like that. And when you're turning, do it like this, because to get the best strength to your drone, that's the way to do it. I'm going to start the auto check. Check the status of the device, hardware such as the aircraft battery, remote controller signal and GPS signal. Okay, we have almost 80% of battery, and we have GPS satellite, we have 18, and the remote controller has a good signal. You can see the RC controller, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars, full strength. That's good. That's next. Check the flight altitude, distance from the home point and flight speed. We're standing now at the home point, and you can see this is our home point. This is where we're going to take off with a drone. So now the height is 0.0, of course. We are standing on the ground. But yeah. Switch between video, quick shots and panorama modes. You can do that on the icon just over the record button, the big red one. You can press that one and switch between different things. You have video, of course. You have 4K, 2.7K, and 1080, and different frame rates. And you have some quick shots on this one, some really nice ones that I recommend you to test, and some panel modes. Camera view, safety check, it's done. Text both to view across, check result. Okay. Now you can see a pre-flight check is normal. We've done that. Max altitude 120 meters. I don't recommend going over 120 meters. I usually fly between 40 to 80 meters depending on the place I'm in and location. You have some traffic in the air, of course. So if we're gonna have this nice hobby, we have to follow the laws, of course. Max distance I set it to no limit because I don't want to have some trouble with that. And SD card, we're gonna format the SD card. Let's do that right away. Formatting this. I think that's important to have an empty SD card each time. So when you've been out flying and you go home or whatever you do, empty your SD card and format it the next time when you fly. Okay. Return to home, it's set to 100 meters depending also of the place or location. It's important to see what's the highest place from where you're at. So if you have a mountain or anything else that are higher, just make sure that you set your home point higher in the area. I'm going to put that down to 80 meters. Okay. We've done that. Safety check. Control sticks.
Learn how to take off.
And we're going to learn how to take off, and that's a really nice thing to do. You can see on your screen that you have an icon with an arrow pointing up. That's the takeoff window, so we can tap there. You can see you have a takeoff window. You can take off with your sticks, or you can take off with this window. I also always use this window. When you just press it, you have to hold it in for the aircraft to go up. So the aircraft will automatically take off to an altitude of 1.2 meter. Avoid taking it off in confined spaces, of course. So that's what I said. Be in an open area. That's the best thing to do. So let's take off.
Push the control stick to make the aircraft descend. Take off. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
So you heard that the home point is updated. This is this place. You can see how stable it's going on. It's really amazing. So now we're gonna do what the screen tells us to do. We're gonna ascend to 1 meters. Let's do that.
Control aircraft
and descend. Press the controller down.
Control aircraft to turn left.
Turn left. You can see on your stick.
Control aircraft
turn
to
right.
turn right.
That's good.
Control aircraft to move forward.
Fly forward. Put the stick, your right stick if you are on mode 2. Forward.
Control aircraft to move backward.
Fly backward.
Control aircraft to move leftward.
And go left with your right stick.
Control aircraft to move rightward.
And go right. Control sticks. Yeah. And now you're going to return to land. You can do that by pressing this window. You can see that smart return to home. If you're up in the air and far away, if you press the home button, the drone will come home and go to that altitude, the height that you set it to, and will descend and try to land on the landing pad. It doesn't always do that. Or you can land with your sticks, or you can land it with the home button on the screen when you're over a safe area to land. So now we're gonna land. Just make sure that it's over here.
Landing.
Just make sure that you're landing on. And you finish. Congratulations. Really good. Okay, thank you so much for watching this pre-flight test. I think this is important to do, especially for beginners. Do it a few times so you learn how to make sure that your drone is okay. And one more thing I want to show you, I always do before I fly, that's controlling the drone for damage. Okay, a few things that is important to do, of course, control your blade, your propellers, to see that they are not bent or cracked or anything like that, and the arms are okay, no cracks, and see that the gimbal and everything is okay. You check under the drone, of course, just to make sure that there's no damage on it. And we're going to calibrate our compass. I want to show you that too. That's important to do. So let's do that. Okay, we're going to calibrate the compass. Press calibrate. You see on the screen what to do. Okay, so now we calibrate the compass, so that's okay. We're gonna start flying. So thank you so much for checking out this test. I think this is important to do, especially for beginners. So let's fly a little bit.